What's the deal, YouTube? It's your girl, Miss Honey. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, welcome back, everybody. It's Sunday. You guys already know what this is. This is Power. This is season 5. This is episode 7. We only have 3 episodes left in this season. And as you guys know, things are moving really, really fast. New to my channel, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you're an old tribe member, one of my regular honeybees, you guys already know, thumbs up. And let's talk about it below. Let's get into this situation because we got the rest of our day to live before we all got to be back to meet the man tomorrow. So let's go ahead and talk about it. The episode opens with Angela and James on one elevator leaving their penthouse, James's penthouse, and Tasha on another elevator leaving the penthouse. And this is right after she dropped into James's lap that Silver's gonna vouch for her because he loves her more than James ever did. Meanwhile, she got on the elevator and started pacing around. She's a little concerned now. She's got to really convince Silver that she needs his help. So she goes on over there to Silver's house, and you know, he's got a full-on squint. You asking me to risk my career to lie? That's perjury. You know, you implicate me in a murder. And, you know, he's like, get your stuff. We going down to the court, to the police department. You gonna tell them everything you know, and we're not going down for James. But it's not James. So for the second time, she tells somebody. Now, she don't trust Keisha with nothing. And that's her bestie, but she done told her sister wife and now Silver that Tariq is actually the one that killed Ray Ray. And he goes back into squint. You've been lying to me this whole time. You told me James did it. You told me you did it. She was like, I was trying to help. I was trying to protect my son. I need your help. I need your help. I need you to help me. And she's standing up underneath him and looking and, please help me. Would you help me, please? You know, and she talking to him like she might be Angela. You're just a regular old black girl, child. You just a regular old black girl. If you ain't got a plan B and C in place. All right. Okay. So to seal the deal, she straddles Silver. They kiss and make out and straddle him and you know, end up making love. Simultaneously, Jamie and Angela has arrived to her apartment, and she's talking about I did this to protect myself, and you know, the deeper you get, the dirtier I get, you know. Everything she says comes back to her some type of way. You know, I did this for myself. Now, always watch who people mention first. The first person that they mention is usually the truth. Everything else is usually filler. I did this for myself, which is true. And Tariq and Raina, and yes, you. Who she mentioned first? Herself. Ultimately, that's the most important person. Always gonna be the most important person is herself. But you know, she straddles him, and he kissing all over her neck. I was like, ooh, no, girl, that's my spot. Oh. And she's like, I shouldn't be here. None of us should be together. We shouldn't be doing this. I was like, well, you might want to get him from all up and around your neck, and you certainly want to get off of that rocket. There's a troll under that bridge, girl. Get off of there. Anyway, let's show them both simultaneously getting you know, the one-eyed wonder weenie. And you know, it's supposed to be this moment where everybody goes their separate ways. Now Tasha's supposed to have Silver, and Ghost and Angela are supposed to have each other. It just kills me how much support and love and kindness and gentleness that he shows Angela. That he not even in conversation will he offer it to Angela. To Tasha. He will not give her one sincere moment. And Angela kind of, when she's talking to Ghost before they get into it real good, she kind of disavows, you know, we're not friends. You know, when he says, how long has Tasha been seeing Silver? And she was like, I don't know. We're not friends. Okay, so now you're finna break up with your sister wife. If you know like I know, you'll want to keep that sister wife. And you know, she's like, well, are you upset about, you know, the fact that she's with Silver? And he is like, no, I don't give a shit about that bitch. I don't give a this for my son. I don't care what happened to his mama. Basically, that's what his attitude was like. That's what his energy was like. He was not only reassuring her, but he was completely devaluing Tasha in that conversation. In that one little bit, he devalued her. Always want to put her beneath Angela. Always want to put her and her value as his wife and the mother of his children beneath Angela as his mistress. But I digress. We're gonna go down to the federal office where Tamika, Mock, Stacks, and Donovan are going over all the evidence they have with Tasha, Ray, James, Tommy, and Angela. She's got her picture down there right along with all the other criminals, and they're talking about how they've already got her for obstruction. They know that she used the IT guys login to delete a record for Tasha, the ballistic report for Tasha. So they got her on that, but they need a little bit more to go on to bring her down. And Donovan is feeling some type of way about it because they all used to play real nice in the sandbox over at the law library together. You know, and he a black man. He ain't with all that snitching and ditching. You know what I'm saying? He feel funny about it. Tamika wants them to put the squeeze even more on Teresi because he's out. He hasn't really given them a lot. See if he knows anything about Angela, can find anything else out about Angela, so we can really stack this up against her and have it airtight. So Mock and Stacks goes over to Teresi's. Of course, he wants them to hurry up and get inside because people could see them. And he's, you guys are going to get me killed. They come inside. They see Kanan sitting there reading the book without readers. And they ask him if he know anything about Angela Valdez. And he was like, I know, who is that? And they were like, well, we need you to find out from Tommy anything you can find out about Angela Valdez and this murder and a murder. He was like, what kind of murder? What are you talking about? You smart. You will figure it out. They go on and leave. Well, Teresi now has to face Connie because Connie was there for that whole conversation. She said, well, I know you got out for me, but do you really want to put your only family, the only family you're going to have left outside of me? And he was like, you're my family. And she was like, boy, bye. I know that's your son. I knew about the affair, but I didn't know that you had a son from that affair until Tommy started coming around. And you got to be smart about this. Do you really want to snitch on the only family you're going to have left after I'm gone? You're not going to have anybody that you can talk to. I mean, that's going to take care of you. And it's something for him to think about. We go back to the federal building, and Donovan has been called in by Angela in her afterglow into her office, and she's asking him about IA Blanca. You heard anything from him? He was like, I can't really say. Well, why can't you say? And he was like, look, these ninjas is after you. You ain't got no friends here. I'm just telling you, giving you a heads up because I feel like I owe you that. Y'all remember that Sandoval wanted to frame Donovan, and Angela stepped in the way of that. So she don't have no problem reminding him of it. Well, he reminds her that she needs to CYA and that she needs to keep her eyes open and realize that she's in a lot of trouble here. And now that he has told her this, that he don't owe her nothing else, and he go on about his business. He really don't want to be a part of none of this. He don't want to be part of snitching. He don't want to be a part of colluding. He really just want to do a regular old ordinary 9-to-5 job and go on about his business. He ain't got time for all these games. So next we see Ghost going into the hotel where Jason is. He's meeting Kanan and Tommy there. And they're going to go in and give Jason his $2 million check of clean money. And they all, you know, he's on the phone with Dre as he's walking in, and they solidifying their plans to kill each other's enemies. Dre said this stays between us, and Ghost is like, yeah, for sure. Anyway, they go in to give into the hotel room to give Jason the money. And Tommy lets out that he hasn't had a chance to kill the Jimenez yet because they was locked up. And Jason's upset about that because he feel like they locked up and they out now. They could be snitching on my whole organization. Your timeline to kill these Jimenez has just been moved up. So when they leaving Jason's hotel room, James asked Tommy, why you didn't tell me about the Jimenez getting locked up, man? And Tommy's like, I don't have to tell you nothing. Jason's my boss. Okay, I'm handling things and I don't need your input in on it. He goes on and gets on the elevator, and James holds Kanan back to ask him if he would kill Diego. I got a address, I think possibly where he could be. He knows my face. Can you go kill him for me? Now, mind you, that's what Ghost is known for. He's known for staking out his kill and hiding in the shadows like a ghost, and he's not seen or heard. He's just a little breeze that blows through and kills everything that he needs to kill. But you gon' bring Kanan on. He just kills me. K, so K, man, I'm worried about this situation. K, man, K, I need a favor. K, I was just like, okay. Omari Hardwick never looked so small, so short in stature than he did in this moment, standing with everybody else and just... Anyway, this is the most contrived scene where Joseph Proctor is just walking through the federal building, just strolling through, and he's going by Mock's office, but Stacks is in there, and Stacks is like, hey, you coming to apply for the paralegal job? And, you know, Proctor's like, hey, I just came to let y'all know I came down here to file my complaint. If you're going to file a complaint, just file a complaint. You ain't got to go and talk to nobody about it. That's why I said this is so contrived. And he just completely hears Stacks out when Stacks tries to solicit him for information on Angela in exchange for making 2 phone calls and getting Proctor's license reinstated. Now Stacks is like, give me the information and I'll clear your name and get your license back. And Proctor's like, no, you clear my name and I'll get you some information. I was just like... It was all just so easy. I'm surprised they ain't offer him immunity. You know what I'm saying? Immunity is the cherry on top of everything in this show. So we see where Ghost is back at Truth, and in walks Tasha. And Tasha is like, I've got everything locked down. I put the magic mahogany coochie on Silver, and he's all on board. And James is not buying, and he knows that Silver is square. And he green, he not about this life, and he don't have no trust for Tasha anyway. But he tries, you know, Tasha is still his property. Now, he don't care nothing about her. She's an old toy. He don't play with her no more, but it's still his toy. Y'all know how it is. When your cousins came over and you had a whole bunch of toys, half of that stuff you didn't even care nothing about, never looked at. But when your cousin went and played with it, all of a sudden, give it here, that's mine. It's very similar to that, you know. He want to run her down about adultery, and she's like, girl, boy, bye. I should have said, girl, bye. Nope, sorry, you can't check me on infidelity at all. Furthermore, I got this thing locked. I am sure that he loves me and my magic mahogany coochie so much that he's going to risk life and career and freedom and safety and all of that to lie on my behalf and my whole family's behalf. And James is like, yeah, yeah, yeah. Meanwhile, you made Angela nervous yesterday. When I was entering her quivering Spanish cooch, I could feel that she was real, real nervous about what was going on. It was a lot of trepidation in the warmth of her coochie, and I don't like that. I don't want you upsetting her and getting her to run off all half cocked. We need her. So suck it up, Tasha. Suck it up. Tasha's like, you know what? I got this. You worry about you. You do you. I'm going to take care of me and my son. And she storms out. Well, she sees Tate on her way out. Of course, Tate is there to let James know he appreciates everything, but he's had some volatile incidences. He's there to basically give James his pink slip. He's there basically to let James know that I'm not going to be able to use you. I'm going to be governor. And James asks, like, well, why you ain't tell me you was running for governor? Why you ain't know that, James? Why you ain't know that? Why you not doing your due diligence on anything? Like, anyway, and James is like, no. It's so, and Tate is like, tut, it's already done. I'll return your money to you. And, we're just going to part ways. And he goes on out feeling all smug and satisfied. Meanwhile, Angela is over having lunch with the DEA guy that let the Jimenez go. And, you know, she letting him smell her 2 fingers. Smell that magic Spanish puss. Now you will tell me everything I want to know. She runs down who he is. He's a part of a secret agency that works with the DEA. And basically there's no government structure in this country where they are right now. So the Jimenez sort of represent this government structure, being the only really form of law and order that they have. And so until they, you know, get some things in place, this is the Jimenez can't go to jail. And he's like, wow. And she was like, well, you messed things up for me in my office, so I'm going to need you to get me another job. And he was like, well, I got a position open in D.C. And she was like, but my family. He was like, but I can show you around and screw you every night, and you'll make real, real good money. And she's like, you know what, let me think about it, because Tommy is texting her and telling her to meet him at her place. And the guy wanted to get drinks later. She was like, tut, I've got all the information I need from you now. Don't call me, I'll call you. She get to her apartment, and Tommy's already inside the apartment eating some of her food, and he want to know why the Jimenez got cut loose. And she was like, I have no idea. That's a doggone lie. And then she begins to tell the stuff that she does want to reveal that she knows. She tells him that the Jimenez really isn't really your connect. You work for their competitor. And who is it? And Tommy's like, I told you, I don't do all that snitching. Except to your daddy. But I digress. And, you know, he goes on about his business and meets up with his daddy, because he getting a text from his daddy. His daddy want him to run him somewhere. So we see Tommy and Teresi riding off somewhere, and Sam is in the back in the whole seat. They go meet up with their jail connect, and the man's light on the money. So they all collectively work together to not only torture but to kill this man. On the way back from this suburban murder, you know, Teresi is like, hey, you did good back there. That wasn't your first time killing somebody, was it? And Tommy's like, no. I've done a lot of very specific murders that can be tied back to me. Let me tell you some of the details. I wrapped one in bubble wrap. There was one at this address. Let me see, 555 Park Place. I mean, he just gives very specific details that could easily lead him back to any number of those murders. But thank goodness that Connie has put a bug in Teresi's ear and let him know that he ain't gonna have nobody if he get Tommy locked up and she die away. Meanwhile, after he's collected everything that he needs for right now to do what he needs to do with Mock and Stacks, All the while he looking at Sammy in the rear view like, I got him to tell everything. I got him just where I want him, including how they used to clean their money. They had a wash and fold, talking about him and Ghost. I mean, he is just blip, 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 blip. He invites him over to have some of Connie's famous cooking. You're just going to love it. It's going to be a great dinner. I want you to come over and all of that. And Tommy's like, really? And he said, yeah. Now, mind you, Tommy's mama, is calling him and texting him left and right. He thinks she want drugs, but she want to spend some time with him and drugs. Sammy's like, oh, you'll love Connie's cooking. And Teresi is like, no, not you. This just gonna be family night. Well, that's probably gonna be a problem. It's probably going to be a problem that you are telling Sammy that he is not family. That's gonna be an issue. We can see it on Sammy's face. They pull over to a convenience store. Tommy gets to talk to his mother. He blows her off. And she finds out when Teresi says something out loud that Tommy and Teresi together. And it's going to be a mess. Teresi is putting himself in a position, or Tommy's putting Teresi in a position where he's going to eventually have to kill him or have him killed. Sammy is going to be a linchpin in this whole situation because he's losing Teresi to Tommy and he already don't like Tommy. So we already know kind of sort of what these next 3 episodes is going to be about. It's going to really be about sort of killing some of our fillers off, some of our fodders off, which I think is going to probably be Sammy's probably going to be one of them. And later on, after Tommy blows his mother off for dinner, he goes over and has a little dinner with them and smooches with Connie, and the food is great. There's a bam, bam, bam at the door. That's his mama, and she's there to raise all kind of hell. Her and Connie holler back and forth. You're a bitch. No, you're a bitch. And Tommy helps his daddy throw his mama out the house. I'm like I said, she's a crackhead and a drug dealer, and a drug user, and she wasn't that great of a mom, but that's still his mama, and he shouldn't be siding with his daddy and his daddy's wife. And the woman Connie say, that's my son. She knew it was gonna piss mom off, and she did it anyway. Never did get up out of her seat. Later on, Connie asked Tommy, you got a girl? And he was like, well, I had a girl, the one that I love, but she moved out of town. Out of town, it stands for purgatory, because we already know where we already know where Holly is, right? So, you know, he kind of says that he's got someone off and on, but he didn't have a chance to tell them that she was black before his mama came knocking on the door. So afterwards, he goes to see Keisha and tells Keisha that, you know, he want her to meet the family and all of that, and all these sweet words get her to feeling like, well, maybe something can be between Tommy and I, and so they end up sleeping together. Teresi went down to see Mock and Stacks and offered them the murder of the guard at the jailhouse where Ghost was being kept, the guard and another inmate. Like, he set it up to be like a murder-suicide thing. This is what Teresi offers in exchange for immunity and some information to just keep himself outside. You know, they get immunity out of the vending machine. They just put 2 quarters in and they get immunity out. They pass it out to anybody. This is what he offers instead after he's had this conversation with Connie about having someone to take care of him after she's gone. So he don't turn Tommy up. He turned James St. Patrick up. So meanwhile, Ghost still got enough time in his day to go mess up things for Tasha by easing up on Silver in a parking deck and low-key threatening him and his job if he don't do what he's supposed to do, where Tasha is concerned. And this is the reason why she didn't want to bring Ghost in on anything, because he always inevitably messes the whole situation up. When Keisha and Tasha at lunch, and Keisha is waxing poetic about this booty call that Tommy made. Of course, she's completely romanticizing it in her own head, like a lot of women do. And Tasha's kind of sort of doing the same thing with Silver. She gets a text from Silver that tells her that he wants her to come to his place later on, and she's like, yeah. Tasha ends up going over there to Silver's place, and it is completely empty. Very nice apartment, but it is completely empty. He has left a subpoena. He has left the check she gave him, and he also left a note that says, sorry, Tasha. He don't want no parts of none of this. Y'all is killers and thugs and thieves, and where he come from is rainbows and gumdrops and unicorns and sparkle. They don't do all this criminal activity where he comes from. He's not about that life. Of course, she's panicked. She is panicked. What the hell? What am I gonna do? What is happening here? Like, it is coming undone. So let's talk about Dre real quick. Dre is still rollerblading on canola oil. And he is 100 miles an hour with no seatbelt. He dropped some money off for Diego and his number one. He got 2-Bit standing there listening to everything. And not only does he set Diego to be exactly where he wanted him to be when Ghost comes to kill him, but he is still kind of throwing Cristobal under the bus. And 2-Bits is like, this ninja is burning both ends of the candle. He is erasing people that's supposed to be friends and making friends with people that's supposed to be his enemy. He's got a lot of irons in the fire. He roller skating in canola oil. I got to find a way to solidify myself. If I'm not careful, I'm gonna be done called a bullet for this ninja. So he goes and he has a ponderosa with Kanan, talking about 2-Bit. After he has been told that he needs to be there to open up the door for Diego and his number one when they come to get, into the orgy that Dre has set up for them. He goes and tells Kanan everything. Of course, Kanan rightly divides and moves things around and drops hints and lets 2-Bit come to his own conclusion. And he decides that he's going to not only thwart Dre from killing Jason, because that's the Serbian connect. That's the connect. He want to get rid of Tommy so he can be he can work with Tommy's connect, take over Tommy's organization. He can't let Dre kill him, but he will kill Diego because that's competition and he can use that to trade it out for favor with Jason. So and he does it. He does all of that. He goes and hides away, and when Diego and his number one come into an empty bar, Xerox paper on the floor with arrows that says "This way to good to good pussy." They follow the arrows in this quiet, bar and open the door, follow the arrows like bread comes to the door. When they open the door, there is Kanan behind the door, and he shoots and kills both of them and cuts Diego's head off and puts it in a duffel bag. Meanwhile, 2-Bit and Mookie outside in the car talking about how they okay with being in Kanan's organization and they okay with letting Dre take the fall and go down by any means necessary. No big deal. So we know, along with Sammy, that Mookie and 2-Bit probably gonna be out this season as well. Dead as doorknob. Now let's talk about the next dead person for this season, or possibly the first of next season, and that's Proctor. He in the car with Tommy, questioning him about Angela and did she ever get involved with a murder and the MCC. I was like, what the hell, Silver? And we also get to see James. He still got some time in his day after threatening Silver. Talk to Alphonse. Alphonse is Tate's guy that secures everything down at the Queen's Project, and James calls him in and asks him just a couple of questions about, is everything okay? And just with that little bit of questioning, the guy tells everything. He tells him he's gonna pay him double what Tate pays him to keep it going. And the guy says, "Oh, you gonna be skimming too?" And Ghost is like, "Skimming," which would have made me shut up if I was talking about something my boss was doing that was illegal. But not Alphonse. Alphonse evidently has not been on the street very long. I mean, he looks like a thug, but he's not really a thug, obviously, because he was like, "Oh yeah, you ain't know about the skimming?" Yeah, he been skimming off the Queen's Child's Project for a long time, taking money right off the rip to pay me. Right off the top to pay me. And James like, "Okay, cool. I was like, yeah, Alphonse, nothing about this conversation is suspicious. So later on, of course, James goes and he blackmails Councilman Tate with this information. "I'm going to ruin this whole governor thing you got going on with this skimming news if you don't do what I want you to do and keep me on the Queen's Child Project." And Tate's like, "Okay, I'm going to make my announcement and we'll talk afterwards." I was like, by talk, he mean exchange bullets, but I digress. And of course, we get to see Kanan raising his son, you know, teaching him how to play chess and how to hang out at a strip club. He got time to do all of this, you know, before he goes to kill Diego and make a deal with Jason, all of that. Like I said, later on, after he kills Diego and decapitates him and puts his head in a duffel bag, he goes and offers it up as a sacrifice to Jason and lets him know that he wants to take over Tommy's organization, and he's going to not only handle Tommy, but anything else that Jason needs done in order to be given Tommy's position in the organization. Meanwhile, like I said, he's playing chess with Tariq and raising his boy up like he want him to be raised up, just downloading all the devilish behavior into him, and got him out there at a coochie club and all kinds of stuff. They having deep, meaningful conversation, and Tariq done heard the voicemail that his daddy left that was less than sincere, and he thinks about sending him a text, but then deletes the whole text and just decides, "I'm not really gonna have anything to do with this man," and he goes ahead and lets Kanan know that he in for the long game. Meanwhile, after Tommy's conversation with Proctor, he sneaks in Angela's car and surprises her, scares her, and lets her know that he knows that she told Silver about Sandoval, and knowing that Silver was going to, I guess, tell James, and that's how Sandoval got killed. That's what this whole MCC thing is about. I needed some clarity on that. Like I said, it's so much minutia in the details. And she toys with the idea of getting Tommy to kill John Mock, but first she wants to do one other thing before she goes that far. I mean, quiet as it's kept, she's already gone that far. Once you entertain the idea of it, you've pretty much already done it, right? Later on, we see her have a conversation with Mock where she exchanges with him the opportunity to get a better job, a higher paying job, a job with a greater title with the DEA and all this power and perks and everything, if he'll play ball with her and tell her what's really going on, like keep her in the loop kind of sort of, since she don't have Donovan to play out to left field anymore. And Mock seems to take it all on, and I'm just like, how you think you're gonna trust Mock? I don't know, it's so ridiculous. Like I said, Tasha has discovered that Silver has gotten the hell on. She's over there now at James and Angela's apartment, and she's in a panic state. Angela's in a panic state. We all gonna go down, and Tasha is like, "Oh no, I gotta protect Tariq." She pulls the gun out of her purse, and she just has it in her purse, lightly wrapped in a half an inch of cloth, and she puts it down there on the table. I'm like, why isn't it in a plastic bag? Why isn't it wrapped up completely? Like, what is we doing? Angela's like, "You told me you got rid of that gun." And she was like, "Insurance, in case we got to this point in the story." And she decides that she's going to be the martyr. There's only one thing for me to do to protect Tariq, is to turn myself in. And James tries to take this noble stance where he's like, "The hell you will. If anybody's going to go down to protect the family, it's going to be me." I was just like, all this selective nobility. You've had so many opportunities all along just this episode to show a nobility, to show that you actually are a changed man, but no, you are busy bobbing and weaving in and out of these bloody raindrops left and right. Tasha, I don't understand, girl, why you not doing more to protect yourself, not just from the police, but from your own husband and your sister wife. Like, girl, where's your plan B, C, and D? And you're not even bringing your girl Keisha in on it. Like, you trusted. Anyway, you guys, that is Power. That is season 5, episode 7, The Devil Inside. And yeah, you guys tell me what you think. Put it down below. Until next time, honeybees. Mwah, mwah, mwah. I'll holla.